Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Post. Okay, so basically this is a podcast that's not a podcast because it's only on YouTube for now. But basically I wanted this to be a series. It's every Wednesday posting an episode called Post, basically just talking about all post seasons in life. Right now I'm post grad, which actually made me have this idea of just the thought of like, I feel like everybody always talks about like, you know, high school or going to college, but nobody ever talks about the after. That's normal, good. Nobody talks about post-grad life, you know, engagement, like after engagement, like postpartum life, or after honeymoon phase of marriage, and like what that's supposed to look like, or how you felt in that time.
My goal for this like podcast video thing
To talk it out and like go through life. They're gonna be guest stars or whatever every week. So it's gonna be people who have just experienced that stage of life and have like some wisdom to like throw down. Welcome to Post. I'm super excited about it. Please make sure to like and subscribe because it really helps me and my channel. And yeah, this is season 1, episode 1, and I'm very excited about it. Also, I could talk about this topic because I'm right here with you guys. Like, I just graduated college in May, and I'm kind of in the middle of trying to decide where I want to be, what I want to do. I'm actually going to start teaching workout classes. I also am in the middle of starting my own business, and so that's growing. I've actually had it since like last year, and so trying to decide if I want to expand that, if I want to go into the news. So I am right there with you. Like, I'm in a weird spot, and like that's just being real. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with where you are at post-grad. You know, like, we all have a purpose in this world, and everybody is gonna, you know, if you want to do something great with your life, go do it. You know, don't be lazy. Like, we have enough of that in the world. Like, go out and do something. Like, you have the power to do anything that you want to do. Like, go do it. Like, you only have one life, so like, go live it. Like, go live it to the fullest. So yeah, I'm in the middle of waiting to hear back from a news job. Like, I'm not sure if I want to take that route because I kind of want to go with my own business thing. And so I don't know, I have so many different like options, and I'm like, oh, I don't know which one to do, and like whatever one I do, like I have to, it's not like I have to stick with that for my whole life. So don't feel like there's this pressure of like, ooh, like you have to have this cool job and like you have to go do this. Like, do what like you want to do. Like, what do you like to figure out, what you like to do, and go from there. Like, don't feel the pressure of like this weird social media society that's like, you have to go have the coolest job ever and blah blah blah. Like, go do you and go like do what makes you happy. I feel like we're so consumed with ourselves that we think everybody else is watching us when you're your biggest critic. So don't just like lay around and feel bad for yourself. Like, post grad, like go out and do something. Like, maybe you need to get a mini job to, you know, get you by and make connections or whatever. But anyway, okay, so with all that being said, let's FaceTime in today's guest. Hey buddy, welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be here. What's up, buddy?
Just, you know, hanging out. So this is really funny. This is bringing me back to, if you know, Zach and I used to have a podcast together called The Zam. If you want to relive those moments, I'll link it in the description box below. But basically, on today's episode of Post, we're going to have Zach here, who is my brother, if you haven't seen him before, like I said earlier. And basically, this episode is just, we're talking about post-grad life. So, I graduated from the University of South Carolina this past May. And Zach, you graduated from FSU, like, how many years ago?
A couple years ago. It was 2017?
So, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Zach graduated from FSU 4 years ago, and basically, Zach, what I want to talk about is how I really feel like nobody talks about post-grad life, and I don't know, it's just kind of, I did a poll on how people felt and like what seasons they were leaving, and a lot of people replied with post-grad, like they don't know what to do, they don't know what's next, and also too, there's just like this weird in-between stage of like not having a job and like, should I have a job? And I just feel like nobody talks about it. So Zach, tell us a little bit about your post-grad and then like where you're at now so we can kind of like dive into that.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, pause. Before we do that, I'm starting each post episode with a question of what has been your favorite season of life so far.
oh, dude, I think my favorite season of life was in college.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Why?
Dude, college was so fun. I mean, it's like to me, school got better and better. The like higher in the grades you went, and then straight into college. It was just so nice. The studying, the late nights in the library, having friends literally everywhere is so
Yeah.
cool. Like, to me, college has yet to be beaten. I think it will in a few years, but I haven't got back to that place in life to where it's going to be as good. But I mean, life's still good, but that was a dope season.
I love that. I really do feel like each stage of life that I like step into is the best, but like there is something like immaculately special about like college.
Amazing. You can't get back those years. And honestly, like if I had to go to years with, if I didn't get a degree, I think college was still worth it just for that experience.
Even if I don't end up going into like my field of broadcast journalism, like it was still worth it because it definitely like made me who I am, like not in a cheesy way, but
I agree, man. You get a lot out of it. Social skills, fun. Like, I don't know. It's great.
Back to the first question that I wanted to ask. So, where are you at now? How was post-grad life for you? And yeah, just tell the people who you are, what you're about.
Yeah, I think it's different per person. Different, like depending on what your degree is and where you end up. So I didn't know anyone when I went to college at Florida State, and that's cool. I like being in those environments where you get like meet new people. And then when I got out of college, I moved to California from Florida. So I was in the same situation where I didn't know anybody. The main difference now is I'm in California, but it's like an older community. People here are like, I don't know what the average age is, probably like mid 50s, mid 60s. So from making friends in elevators at school to like here, you got to like hustle if you want to find friendships. That's the biggest thing post-grad life for me. That was the huge shocker. So I think when I move to a spot that's younger, it's going to be a different experience. But my experience so far it's been good, but it's just been different compared to that, just because it's harder to find friends. I think most people will experience that, but it's different when you're in an older community.
yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I think it's definitely different like coming out of college and then like all your friends are everywhere else and you're like, okay, well, now what? And I feel like that last year of college, you get so used to the friends that you have that it's almost like, it's not like you forget how to make new friends either. It's just like you didn't realize how comfortable you were.
Yeah,
but how
the
long?
other thing is too is like you're working 40 plus hours a week. We're in college. You kind of are working the same amount, but you're like studying with friends. So now you don't have as much free time too. It's just you got to get used to actually working that much.
How long was the gap between you graduating and then you taking your first job? Did you feel like pressure? Because I feel like there's a lot of like pressure that last semester to, you know, get a job, like, but it has to be your career job, like that's it. And like, I don't know, I just feel like it's really not like that. And I feel like a lot of people are too busy like looking at everybody else's life and like comparing and being like, oh, this is exactly how my life has to be like, when everybody has their own path.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone feels pressured typically, but I didn't. I felt pretty good about it. I think I got a job a month or two after college. I stayed at Florida State and I like worked in the weather department a little bit to kind of get some experience, but I literally did not care. Like I didn't do an internship or I didn't set myself up for success getting out of it. But I was taking my time, and in meteorology, they tell you to take the first job you get offered. I did not, and I only applied a couple spots. Like, I didn't want to end up somewhere I didn't want to be, especially in this business.
Yeah.
They don't pay you anything when you get into it. So I was like, if I'm going to be getting paid zero, I want to at least be in a cool spot. Yeah, I think you got to know your worth too. Like, most people take the first job that they get offered thinking they'll never get offered another one. And if they get offered a job 2 weeks out of college, dude, you just started applying. You're going to get offered another job. So like, find one you really like. If you don't get a job for 3-4 months, even a year, like it doesn't really matter. Like you're so young at that point. Nobody's judging you. I don't know. There's like a huge thing about people feeling, but you could get a job at like Starbucks or something in the meantime. Like for most people, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like
So,
wait to find what's
yeah.
right.
I like that. Wait to find what's right, people. I like that a lot. What would you say to people who are, because you are, so Zach's about to actually like step out of his current career and move back to South Carolina. So what would you say to people who just graduated? So it's June now. It's been a month since graduation, and let's say they like haven't found a job yet, or they're still not really sure like what they want to do. But I feel like there's a lot of not really for me personally, but I feel like a lot of people have felt this of just like kind of anxiety and like sadness because they don't like, they're like, oh, I haven't gotten my dream job yet. Like, what would you say to those people who don't have a job yet?
Dude, it's hard. I mean, I had a lot of meteorology is competitive. So is reporting. I had a lot of friends. I feel like some of them, honestly, a couple of months or even years went by before they got a job. Maybe some of them didn't. I don't know. It's a weird thing. You got to kind of examine yourself. Like if there's skills and talents, and if you haven't built those skills, or if you're not fit for that business, then you maybe have to look at it for some people. But the other ones who this is totally for you, you can do this job, you just got to be patient. I think you just got to be patient and wait it out. It's hard. It's a competitive business, and like there's not that many jobs open for that in general.
Yeah. And just like, I think too, like for people like jobs in general, so not even just like broadcast, like news world of like, if there are just people who just graduated and they don't have a job, like what would you tell them?
I would just tell them to wait. Like, I mean, apply, try to find the job, call as much as you can, like really put that work in, but don't be afraid to get a part-time job in the meantime, or take some time off. It's like once you graduate college, dude, there's no more summer vacations. So you might as well enjoy one more summer vacation because they're over unless you get a different job, I mean, unless you change a little bit. But dude, enjoy your time. Like, don't feel so pressured to get a job because, dude, what if you're like, how old are you when you graduate college? 21, 22 generally?
Yeah. 21.
You got like 80 years left. You got like 80 years. Why do you got to find a job in 2 weeks or 1 month, even a year? Like, you got so much life left. Like, you relax. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. You can get a job at McDonald's in 3 seconds or DoorDash and pay yourself some money if you need some fast cash.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of people are just so quick, like you said, like, oh, take the first job that like somebody offers you and that's it. But I just think like we have built this like society of like, oh, like you go to school for your whole life, and then at 21 years old you have to know exactly what you want to do and go do that one thing for the rest of your life. But like Zach's 27 and he's changing his whole life career. Like, you have and I feel like too, your like passions change, like you love what you did and you did it for 4 years and you're like, now it's time to move on. And so it's like there's always like change, like you can always be changing and like always do something else. Like, you don't have to just get one job after college and stick with it for your whole life. And I feel like our like society has low-key pushed us to feel like that.
Yeah, and the society definitely, and I think a lot of people's parents might do it. Ours haven't, but like some people feel like they have to do it for their parents or something. But even then, like you got to resist that. But yeah, like if you're not happy in life, like you spend most of your life working and the other part sleeping. So you gotta like what you do. And who cares? Like, just switch it up. I feel like you just gotta be happy at the end of the day. Bring it in. And it takes time. Like, you don't know if you're gonna like something until you try it. Sometimes you gotta like get a degree before you can even try it, which isn't fair, but you still have the degree at the end of the day.
Yeah. And also I feel like recently, I don't know, I had this thought and I feel like everybody like low-key equivalates, like it's almost like now you have to have like a cool job and it has to like look cool to like be like, oh yeah, like you're successful, like you did it. But like everybody's career path is so different, and I feel like so many people are equating like their worth to fame. And like that is so like, what a terrible way to live,
Yeah, you mean fame like compared to like what their friends think about their job?
Yeah, or like like I feel like a lot of pressure, and like people think like, oh, I have to have a cool job so that it looks cool,
So
Right.
my friends think it's cool.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
like you're saying.
yeah.
And then also like,
on top of that, oh, I have to be like Instagram famous, or I have to be like an influencer, and it's like you don't, like that does not equivalent like your career isn't just like your whole life. Like
Totally. I think it's a confidence issue with these, because like they're only trying to get these things to like impress somebody or like feel good about themselves in that way. But I mean, I'm switching to YouTube. I'm quitting being a weatherman to do that. And I don't know. I mean, it may take 10 years before I have like 70 subscribers. I don't have that many followers or subscribers right now, but that's okay. Like I love it so much, it doesn't matter. Like, but it's gonna happen. But like, I don't care what people think of it right now.
yeah, and that's my thing too, is it's like I don't care, like, because it is weird, and it's like funny because at first you're like, well, this is awkward, like I'm putting this out to my friends and like they probably don't really care, but then it's like, even if I were to inspire like one person or like help somebody's day, or we made, like you and I made one person laugh, like that's worth it, because it's not about like numbers here. It's not about like, oh, I'm gonna make money off YouTube. It's like I want to inspire people, and I feel like everybody is just so like down in the dumps, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And then it's also funny to me how many people work their jobs and never ever quit it, and they hate it, and then they complain about it for years.
Yes.
And they never stop working it, and half the time they don't even get paid much. So like, why are you staying?
So many people. I ran into a guy at a wedding a few weekends ago, and I was like, hey, how are you? And he was like, oh, I'm okay, like I work like 60 plus hours a week. I was like, that's great, like do you like it? And he was like, no, it sucks. And I was like, that is just such, you have one life to live. Like you get one life. You get like 100 years if you're blessed, and like why would you waste that whole life doing something that you hate?
Dude, the only reason I could ever advocate for that is if you're getting paid a lot of money.
And I would also say to grads, like post-graduation is a weird time. Like we're all here, like I mean not Zach anymore, but I am, and it's just like a waiting period, and it's like I have a job, but also it's like I'm also open to like different things, and I've had to, the advice that I'm giving, like I've had to take for myself first. Like Zach has told me the same thing, like it's literally fine if you don't have a job like the day of college. You don't have to have a job the day after graduation. Like that doesn't mean you're not going to be successful, but also like don't take your time of like nothingness and relaxation and just do nothing. Like do something.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you gotta try to enjoy it. The other thing is too, not everybody liked college as much as me and you did. Some people can't wait to get out of it. So those people are usually more excited to get out. The life is still amazing after college. It's just a little bit different.
What would you say are some really good pros like that people who just graduated can like look forward to right now?
Dude, so like with school, it never ends. Like there's always something you got to study for. I mean, I didn't study that much either, but there's always something else. And when you clock out of your job, you're done. But like when you're out, you're out. So you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. That's a cool pro. Actually making more money is a kind of a pro. But I don't know. There's, that I think those would be like the top two maybe.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, what advice would you give to people to go do today if they're like sitting at home, they haven't been employed yet? Also too, this is my little sidebar. If you are like feeling depressed and you don't know what you want to do yet, like Zach said, like just go get like a little job. Like you do not have to just like come out of college with this banging job that has like insurance and all these things. Like just go like work benefits. That's the word I was looking for, benefits.
You don't even need benefits this young.
Yeah, we don't even need health insurance right now. Like we are young. We're gonna whip back into shape. just go work a side job, like maybe do some random career that like you never thought you would have done, and then like who knows where that will lead you. But also it's like Zach said, like sometimes it takes time to take a job, and don't just take one if you're gonna be miserable, because we don't need more miserable people on this planet. We need people who are excited about life, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Just be confident in yourself and like know your worth, but like also know like you can only do what you can do. Like you cannot control life, so you gotta plant your seeds and let them grow. If you try to control life and twist things, you're gonna end up in a bad spot generally. Like you want to be somewhere that like wants you to be there too. So I don't know. Hope, just like do what you can and then let the rest come back to you.
So anyways, words of wisdom you will give to the people who just graduated or maybe graduated a few years ago and still feel very uncertain about life and what they are meant to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what I was kind of just saying, but like I would say just know your worth. Don't do anything that you're gonna hate, but also it depends. Like my job's a contract job, so it's more of a commitment. Don't be scared to take a job and then quit that job. That's one thing. The other thing is to know your worth and don't take something that you know you're not going to be happy in just because you want a job right now. Do what you can, like work hard to get that job, but then at the end of the day, relax and like let those things come back to you. There's kind of a plan set out for you. You just kind of like you just don't know the timing of it, so let your work meet up to the timing.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. And just, yeah, everything's gonna fall into place. Know that you're not the only one in that situation. Everyone has been there. Like, it's literally normal. It's just, I think you see it more in your face because of all social media platforms. It's like, oh look, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. But like, that's great. But it's not your life, you gotta do something else.
Yeah, I agree. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about them.
Be happy that your friends are getting jobs, but I guarantee you got most of your friends list probably doesn't have the jobs yet.
And that was one thing I really wanted to say, is I feel like we've gotten into this mindset, or I don't know if guys are like this, but I feel like so many girls are like this, and it's like you can't cheer somebody else on and still like we can't both have success. Like, it has to be one or the other, but we can all be successful. Like, it honestly comes back to you and is better when, like, I'm championing you on and you're championing me on,
Exactly. It's not like they're blocking you from something anyway.
Right. Like, nobody can steal your purpose. Not to be dramatic,
exactly.
but true.
Jealousy is the quickest way to not be happy anyway.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for being my first guest on Post. Do you have anything else to say that maybe I didn't say? Do you think that was good?
I think it was good, man. I mean, you can't stop graduating unless you take a 5th year, so you just go and walk it. Life's good after college, but it's up to you to make it. If your college experience is great, it's up to you to make it as good as it was and then make it better. So you can do whatever you want in life. So yeah, it's great. Don't worry about it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us in this episode of Post. Next week is a really juicy episode. We're gonna be talking, not Zach and I, but me and the next guest. We're talking about post breakups. So make sure you stick around for that. It's gonna be a good one. All right, bye, buddy. Thank you.